Batwoman Season 2 Episode 3 titled Batgirl Magic, and this episode is a surprisingly good episode. This is a good episode. I was like, and why wasn't a bad character in this? This is so surprising. Because we all know how much I was like in the last two episodes, like this Ryan character. I don't know, all she is, and she's seems entitled, and all this, all X, Y, and Z. And now, this episode, she feels like a completely different character. Doesn't feel that she knows everything. Doesn't feel that she is entitled. She feels understands, like, hey, I'm still the Wookiee. Kate is was the veteran, and I'm taking over her place. I'm filling up her shoes. If she comes back if she's not, I'm Batwoman now. I'm learning the ropes. And she has that attitude of it versus the last two episodes, which is, I'm from the street, so I know everything. I'm like, that's when I was like, F off kind of when it comes to the character. So I was surprised by it. But the big thing about this episode is it's introducing Victor Zsasz, who is a big Batman villain in the comics, who has been showing up in the last couple of years in different medias, Birds of Prey recently, and Gotham. And I always joke about the idea of Victor Zsasz, because it's like, clearly no showrunner or director ever wants to do the more classic version of Victor Zsasz, which is, he's a serial killer. And he's the, knife at the face, licking the knife, kind of, clearly he's crazy, type of serial killer, and, and all that. Clearly they don't want to do that. They want to reinvent it, do their own thing with it, and make him a hitman, make him an assassin. They keep the tally mark thing there, which we see in this episode, of him just having so many tallies to the point he's like, fuck, where did I put, at the beginning he's like, fuck, where did I put these tallies? It's in every bloody spot. It's in every, fucking on my head. And Zsasz in this feels, and it's weird saying about a villain who kills people, but it's great because it feels he's just a fun villain. It's the whole thing of he enjoys what he does. It's twisted, yes, but he enjoys what he does, and you kind of have that enjoyment with him, if that makes sense. Even though he got took out, when they have the big Batwoman, Victor Zsasz showdown, it did seem a little bit too, quick. It was essentially like a punch and you're out kind of thing. It's like, really? Couple of kicks and a punch, and you're knocked out, and that's, boom, 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 Victor Zsasz is done. Okay, that's weird. But yeah, actually, all the Batwoman stuff I quite enjoy, and of course, the mystery of clearly the season's going to be what happened to Kate. Is Kate alive? Is Kate not alive? And we meet Survivor. The woman from last week's episode, at the end for the tag, and she has a reveal, and this is a spoiler, by the way, so Alice, that if you do this, and we don't know what this is, but if you do this, we'll bring you Kate. Kate is alive. Which, here's the thing. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, by the end of the season, Kate is alive. Could this be, what would that be? I mean, one possible thing is, hey, Alice is very linked, Alice is very tied towards, where's Kate, and you just like, you know what? I'll say, hey, I have Kate, and if you do this, I'll bring you back to her. You'll be whole again, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm thinking, well, clearly it won't be Ruby Rose. It could be, but it could be they recast the character. They recast the new Batwoman, or the new Kate, and they, for if there's a season 3, they do, hey, you know, it's Batwomen now. There's 2 running around. I mean, that could be a thing. It could be interesting how that falls in play. Now, there's a little reference at the end with Jack Napier, who of course is the Joker, which is like, why is Kate looking at a painting of Jack Napier, like, you know, a painting that was by him? So that could be interesting. That could be very interesting. It's like, wait, is Joker gonna show up in the 3rd season, or like somewhere point at this? But are we gonna see actually Bruce, like all these things? And it'll be quite interesting how that plays out, how that folds around. I'm just surprised that I'm not shitting on this episode. Like, absolutely, I'm not. Like, I'm not. I'm like, hey, this is good. This is a good episode. Who knew? All you probably need is put a classic Batman villain and as your main villain of the episode, and somehow you get a good episode. Yeah, who knew? Maybe you should have tried. Maybe they should do it more often.